It reads as it sounds. .io, vedabase.io, like baseball, except no ball, and then Veda first, vedabase.io. And then there's a link to our books, including Bhagavad Gita, and there's a link to chapter 7, and there's a link to today's verse, 26. And from Brahma, he might prompt you for questions and or comments, whether it's during the class or at the end. And we'll have another kirtan at the end of class, maybe around 7 or a little after, and then we'll have the nice vegetarian prasadam feast. So Hare Krishna.
Okay. Oops.
No.
Just no, use the center one. No, see, move this one. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Here, this is gone down. So now, yeah. Maybe if you want, you can just keep it there. Yeah, so others can see also. It is on. Just leave it in the center. Okay. I think should be fine. Should be fine. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for having me here. And today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita. So before that, we can chant one prayer. You can say after me if you want. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from this beautiful book called Bhagavad Gita. I'm pretty much sure everybody is aware about this book. And today we're going to read out from text number 26. Does anybody have access to it? Yeah? Okay. So we can just chant it. Veda aham samatitani vartamanani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kaschana. Anybody would like to try?
Vedaham samatitani.
Vedaham samatitani.
Vartamanani charjuna.
Vartamanani cha arjuna.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Mam tu veda na kaschana.
Anybody else? Vedaham samatitani. Vartamanani cha arjuna. Bhavishyani cha bhutani. Mam tu veda na kaschana. Okay. What the word meaning? Veda. No. Aham. I. Samatitani. Completely past. Vartamanani. Present. Cha. And. Arjuna. O Arjuna. Bhavishyani. Future. Cha. Also. Bhutani. All living entities. Mam. Me. Tu. But. Veda. Knows. Na. Not. Kashana. Anyone. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation: O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Purport: Here the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya, material, as the impersonalists consider him to be, then like all living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vyavasa, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as a supersoul. But despite his presence in every living entity as supersoul, his presence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as the Supreme Person. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He is just like the sun, and Maya is like a cloud. In the material world, we can see that there is the sun, that there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all these in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his internal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of man. As it is stated in the 3rd verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in this human form of life, and out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. So we can see that Krishna, he is continuing his transcendental knowledge to Arjuna. And whatever the misconceptions are there in the society, even that time or today, or it will be happen in the future, all those misunderstanding about Krishna is being cleared by himself. He says, whatever you are thinking, who am I? I'm not like that. Okay, first of all, now in this verse, he's saying, I know everything. What has happened and what is happening and what will be happening in the future, not with himself or with Arjuna, with every single living entity. Whether they are in the human form or they are in any other forms. It could be, aquatics, trees, birds, plants, anything. He knows everything about everyone. That's his beauty. That's his call. It makes him Bhagwan. There's so many people here. Prabhupada is saying people, even the living entity, they think Krishna as himself. Oh, he's just like us. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada gives an example when a jailer, the person who is in charge of a prison, when he goes to inspect what is happening in the jail, and the people who are inside the jail as a criminal, they think, oh, he's just like us. Because we are also in the jail, and the jailer has also come in the jail. So what is the difference between the jailer and us? Because we both are in the jail. Okay, but the problem is, you have been put into the jail by force because you did some crime. But Krishna, He has come out of his sweet will. He has come and he will go whenever he wants. So the jailer will come according to his will. He'll come, okay, today I'm going to go to 26 2nd Avenue there. If there is any jail there, I'm going to check what's happening in my kingdom. Are the people doing well there? Or they're following all the rules? He just walks anytime for inspection, and he can go anytime as he wants because he's the boss. But the people who's inside, they think, oh, he's just like us. And Prabhupada is saying people forget their past life. Forget about past life. If I ask you anybody, what have you eaten same day on Saturday last week? Can you tell me? Or what were you doing? Sitting here. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And the food was excellent.
Which is transcendental. We are at 26 2nd Avenue. But normally when we talk about that, we don't know. Yeah, even yesterday, but you are transcendental to 1 week. Yeah, yesterday we don't know. So where is the question to knowing Krishna if you don't know what we have done, even the morning? Sometimes people say, Prabhu, what did you eat in the morning? And they have to scratch their brain. Maybe khichdi. Yeah, khichdi was there. So they have to focus so much to think what they have eaten in the breakfast. And now people claim very easily, I know Krishna, just like a loose talk, I know everybody. We don't know Krishna. And it is not like us, even the Arjuna, who was such a perfect yogi, who was a friend, okay, he was a devotee, he had everything, but he was playing a role like us, like a Muda, like a fool person who doesn't know. Krishna told him in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, which is transcendental knowledge, the first verse he says, that this knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita, this imperishable science of supreme yoga, first time I told to Sun God, his name is Vivasman. And I just say, hang on. You and me, we are on the same age. Okay, hardly 125 years old. And Sun God is more senior to you. He's very, very old. How can I believe? Krishna says, no. Don't think you and me on the same page. Okay, you are taking birth every time, but I am not. I was in the same body. My body and my soul, I am completely spiritual. There is no difference between me and my body and my soul. I'm the same personality, but you changes every birth. Every time you do changes. I do remember. Let me read some of the verses from this chapter 4, where Lord says, here, text 4 of chapter number 4, translation, Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? He's putting a question. And text number 5, Lord is saying, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. And then further he says, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, although I am the Lord of all living entity, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So that means he does not change his body, because his body is not like us, material. He's completely spiritual. If something is spiritual, it never changes. Have you ever seen your body has been changed? Really? So lucky that you changed. People know they have changed, but they change their body with cosmetics. When they become older, they know they have changed. They used to be so young and tight skin and everything. But now, thanks to all the cosmetic industry, they are making them fool again. Because externally you may change, but internally your body parts are shaking. I've seen one lady, one older lady, she must be very 65, 70 years old. She barely, she can walk, you can see back pain and many other legs are falling apart. But she has done some kind of a plastic surgery, made sure her skin is tight. Usually if you see the older people's skills like hair, it just lose like a bag, it's like skin. You see older people, hair, everything, it just loses. But somehow her other body parts are loose, except the face. Because that is the face, is a cheating face to the world. But whom are you going to cheat? You are going to cheat yourself only. You have spent so much money on plastic surgery to cheat yourself, not others. Because people can easily see by your walking sense, you are not as old or as young you show to the world. That's what here Lord is saying. You are changing your body, I am not. I remember everything. That makes the Supreme Lord. People, even the people are so dumb, they call themselves as a God. If you go to India and many other places, it's very cheap to say I'm God. In Prabhupada time he says, so Brahmananda, who is the new God in the market now? So every week someone is popping up like a popcorn. Poop, poop, one, just coming from the flight. Okay, I'm the next God, I'm the next God, I'm the next God. So it has been taken as a cheap. Okay, they don't even know what they have eaten yesterday or this morning or last week or where they are going to be. So how can they claim? Here Lord is clearly saying, I knew the past, okay, and I know the present, and I will be knowing the future. Do you remember that when he says, Arjuna says, I'm not going to fight. Lord says, what are you saying? I have already done the job. And what we have to do? Nimit matra bhava savesachi. Now you take the credit and enjoy the opulence of the earthly planet, because I have already killed them. And he showed in chapter 11, where we'll go through, where he shows the universal form. He shows everybody is going into his mouth in a universal form. Here Bhishma gone, Drona gone, Duryodhan gone, 100 sons are gone. The whole army, whole troops from both sides, they all are dead. Because he showed Arjuna, look at that, I can tell you what's going to be happening in the future. That makes him the Supreme Lord here. And here, Prabhupada also says, by thinking Krishna like them, people think, because when end of his pastime, Krishna also showed that there was one person, a tribal man, he shoot the arrow, it just pierced into his feet and he died, okay, and people burned him. And they think, look at that, Krishna died like us, we burned him like that. But here Lord is saying, avjananti mamamuda manushyam tanam ashritam, that foolish people think that I come as a human form, foolish people think I am like them. Okay, we can see how our body stinks. If we get up early in the morning, the first thing, we don't want to smell ourselves. Okay, first thing we run to the washroom, clean ourselves, bath ourselves, every part of the body we just clean with the soap and everything, and put the perfume powders everywhere, make sure we are presentable to the market. But it doesn't work with Krishna. He is always fragrant, because only material matter stinks. Spiritual thing doesn't stink at all. Okay, spiritual thing doesn't stink at all. We can see when we were like a baby, we are changing every second. But Krishna is also changing, but as per his pastime, but he stops at the age of 16, 17 years old. Even though his children and others, they were also there. He was 125 years old that time. Okay, but he was looking as fresh as anybody else. Even though their people were younger than him. Younger people looks young, as compared to older. But he was looking younger than anybody else. They say because he's navi yovanam cha, he's always fresh. Why is he fresh? Because he's the God. He has a spiritual body. He's completely such chit ananda. But that part only a devotee can understand. Not anybody else can understand this part, because he himself has said in the same 4th chapter, verse number 9, Janma karma chame divyam. All my work, all my activities, and all my appearance, which is my birth, okay, they are completely transcendental. For atheistic, for the person who doesn't love Krishna, who doesn't know Krishna, for them is completely bewildering. You just imagine, if you have read Mahabharata or if you know all the stories of Krishna, just imagine there were many people in Krishna's time also, even though they were playing the part to be a fool in Krishna's pastime. They are not ordinary people, they were chosen by Lord himself. Okay, but just to give a lesson to the future foolish people, there were also some foolish people there. They were acting as a foolish. They were thinking, oh, Krishna, he's just like a mystic man, mystic boy, or some kind of a demigod. He's nothing. He's a cheater. You know, I don't believe he's Krishna. On the day of Rajasuya Yagya, okay, everybody says, let pick one person who is going to be worshipped. And Sahadev gets up and he says, it's Krishna. And immediately, Shishupal, he started blaspheming. He says, how dare you to say, look at his background. He doesn't even know which caste he belongs to. Who is father, where does he belong to, what he does, and look at his character. And many things he just blaspheming Krishna for being foolishly thinking like him. Okay, I'm also a king, he also a king. What's the point? He may be a more than power, and he was his cousin also. Can you believe it? Shishupal was his cousin also. If those people who were seeing Krishna face to face, they don't accept him as a god, what to speak about the people of today's, those who have no access to see Krishna or to know about his knowledge? What to speak about them? When people were seeing Krishna on the planet, even on the battlefield, they were thinking. Many times, Bhishma said, Bhishma said, Vidura said, there were so many good people were there on the side of Duryodhan to give him a very good advice. But he didn't listen at all. He was just ignoring them completely. So what to speak about if you give the good advice of today's people? Even though they were giving the example, do you know how he killed Kamsa? How he killed Putana? How he killed so many other when he was just merely a 2-3 years old child? 6 years, every year, every day he was killing a new demon. Every day. Or maybe many also, he was killing. So what to speak about you? After hearing those live telecasts, a fresh news, people still don't believe. So what to speak about now, today's people? Where they gonna believe, who is Krishna and how does he look like? It was just only by the mercy of our spiritual masters, they made us access to understand all these things. If we really want to get the blessings of Krishna, Krishna says, not first me. First take the blessings of my devotees. Because when they bless you, then only you can know me. You can know that before Srila Prabhupada brought this movement or this message from India to America or to the Western world, how many people, practically only some couple of Indians or like some handfuls of Indians knows outside. Okay, and some people also know India. Yeah, Krishna, Rama. Yeah, I know that. But do you really know that who is he? If you see in some of the temples, we do have this, music systems are there, stereo. Okay, some people know how to turn on and how to turn off. And if you ask them, Prabhu, do you know really about this system? Yeah, I know everything. All they only know on and off, and just play button. How to turn on, how to turn off. But if you see the detailing in the stereo system, is so many buttons are there. Frequency, bass, chords, everything you say, they're all matching is there. But a person very loosely say, yeah, I know everything. Because he can just turn the light on, that doesn't mean you know everything. If you really know, then you must start worshipping Krishna. You need to know somebody in a detail when you have to become somebody's friend. Okay, I know him, but how much do I know him about? We just only meet here in the program, or maybe he just comes to the temple. Only that much I know. What he does, where he lives, only little bit. But if I have to know a full detailing, then I have to spend a good quality amount of time with him or with his family every day. Make sense or not? Yeah. If you want to know somebody in full detail, what they like, what they don't like, what time they sleep, what they wear, how they eat, what are their favorite dishes, you need to spend a very good amount of time with them. So knowing Krishna we need to spend a very good amount of time with his devotees. And the scriptures he has given here in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Because by reading them, we only know who actually Krishna is. But some people may say, how do I know these scriptures are true? Well, when those people who were present that time when Krishna was there, so those people have written for upcoming future devotees to read out. Just an example, if I say, who was the mayor 100 years ago? Okay, maybe you don't know. So what are you going to do? You're going to refer the government paper, authorized paper. You will go to the council, or maybe it's a mayor office. You will inquire, and they will open some old history documented records, and they will bring out, and they will say, oh, from 1901 to 1905, Mr. Jack Mellon, he was there. But you can say, oh, I don't trust it. I don't trust, this is lie, this is scripture, this is lie. Why it is lie? It is an official document. When people, those who were present that time, they documented the name, they were with the person, they documented the name, and from 6 to 10, there was somebody else, 11 to 15, somebody else, and now you are here today, so there's somebody else. So if the previous authorities had documented, so on which basis you are saying it is not true? So our previous acharyas has documented all the pastimes, all the information, everything in the scriptures, so the future generation can read. And guess, if today's time, whoever is the mayor, we can say from 2021 to 2025, so and so is there. And after 100 years, somebody comes say, I don't believe. So what does it mean? That's something wrong with the person. It's not something wrong with the information. Because we check out the history, we look forward to the documented authority. So these are our authorities. The sages were there. The great personalities were born there. They are telling all the truth. They have seen live, and they have documented for us to know. Yeah? And other thing Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Krishna, by saying that I know everything, means he's a person. He's not impersonal. Means he has no form. This doesn't make any sense to you. With so many other spiritual organizations, they say the God has no form. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. If you ask them, okay, if your God has no form, so can you tell me then to whom you cook for? And I generally ask them, he says, when you come to your practice, your temple or your mosque or whatever you have, your spiritual gathering, so when you pray, so in your prayer, do you think your God is, what happened? Okay, yeah. When they say, when I ask them, when you pray, do you think your God is listening to your prayer? Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, good. So when you come, then you believe your God is watching you, that he has come to his temple, to his home. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so when you bring something or when you cook something for him, do you think he accepts you? Yeah, definitely. So tell me one thing, to hear your prayers, so there must be ears. Okay, to accept your food, there must be a mouth. To see you are here, there must be eyes. And if you think that he's putting his blessings upon your head, then there must be some hands. So maybe a person is there. Make sense or not? I mean, how can you say you love somebody that the person doesn't have a form? It doesn't make sense at all. A person is there because you cannot see, that does not mean he doesn't exist. Yeah? So they may also refer some authority. They say, so and so sages was there, he's saying there is no God. Okay, but I have so and so sages, they are saying they have shake the hand with the Lord. Different time, different yuga, different kalpa, different personality, they followed the instruction of the Lord, which is in the Vedic scriptures. They saw the Lord, they handshake, and everybody's description is same. He wears yellow dhoti, he wears peacock feather, he has a very beautiful cloud-like color. Okay, he plays flute, he has cows. Then how come everybody's information is matching by following the scriptures, and how come your scriptures is not matching? Are you following the way? The no. Then where is the question to see the Lord? Oh, can I have some more water? No, sorry, I have a bad cough. No, I do have a. Yeah, this is here. I do have, but it is just for last 4 or 5 days I have a very bad cold.
You're doing great.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm just pushing myself. Here. So in this way, when we follow the exact information, because if you want to know God, so you have to follow what the God had said. It's not that you will do what you want to do, and then at the end you say there is no God. Have you ever seen like many people, those who practice doctorate or any kind of a degree? So there are always two kind of people are there. One who has passed, and one and one who has not passed, those who were failed. And those who has failed, they go and tell others. Who has passed doctorate? It's very difficult to do that. Don't do it. There is no interest in there, and there is no future also. They will criticize the course. Makes sense? Because they themselves not able to do it. But the person who has done it, he will say, why not? Just follow the teacher, follow the books, come to the program every day or come to the lecture every day, and then you will be passed out. If the person doesn't go to the college, doesn't buy the book, doesn't obey the order of the teacher, if that person is failed, so do you follow him or do you follow the person who has exactly followed it? So that's why we need to be broad-minded to understand, because their peoples are there, okay, to take you away from the God, from Krishna. But why? What for? Because they are jealous. That's what Lord is saying. Ki Mam abjananti mamamura. Abjananti, the person who doesn't know me, that when I come as a human form, okay, because human form they think they are like them. We believe Krishna has come as a Narsingha, which is half lion, half man. Krishna has come as a Varaha, which is like a pig form there. And Krishna has come as a tortoise, turtle form. Krishna has come as a fish. They believe all these things. But when Krishna says, I come as a human form, then they don't believe. Because Krishna's all pastimes are so confusing for them. And when Krishna sees that this person is, atheist, or he is envious of me, he likes to make them more confused. But for devotees, they relish it, because there is nothing impossible in the dictionary of Lord Krishna. Possible or impossible, it only exists, which is we call duality. It's only exists in this material world, but it doesn't exist in the spiritual world. It's only one thing is there. Good and bad is here, but it's only good there. Honor and dishonor here, but it's only honor is there. So it's one thing is there. Spiritual life is there. But here we struggle with, hot and cold, because everything is there. Duality is there. Honor and dishonor. Okay, I'll stop here. I'll see if anybody has any questions, I can unfold many things.
What's the role of the connector? We have it.
No question today. So you are going to be initiated when? By? Romapa Swami Maharaj. Yeah, wonderful. Very fortunate. So, like within 2 weeks or 1 week? How is that?
A little more than a month.
A month, little more than a month.
Memorial Day weekend, so it's the
18th, 19th.
Yeah, something like maybe
Second
maybe
or-
a couple days more, but yeah.
Yes, second or third week of May.
Yeah, third. Almost.
Almost last.
22nd.
Okay, that's good.
This year everything's a little earlier.
Oh, a little earlier. Okay, very
For
nice.
This
Maharaj.
calendar year.
Thank you. Very fortunate that you got a bona fide guru. Very nice.
Yeah, and she's and of course, she's practicing the tenets of Krishna consciousness, and she's beginning to practice one that's very important to us and to Prabhupada, which is sharing Krishna consciousness with others. So she's already doing it by bringing prasadam.
Yeah.
Every few weeks she makes the wonderful prasadam feast here, and then she brings her friends because she wants them to have the greatest gift that she received, sharing Krishna with others.
Wonderful,
So
yes.
she's practicing that one too now.
A person is very fortunate if he has a friend who is a devotee of Lord Krishna. He is very fortunate. Otherwise, there are so many friends who can take you to the royal road to the hell. No, there are so many people. Anyway, fortunate. Yeah.
I don't know how to ask. Easy. Now I forgot the question. So Lord Krishna has a transcendental power.
Yeah.
But yet, from what I understand, when his time on earth was finished and his mission was accomplished,
Yeah.
an arrow poisoned his body. And so
Yeah.
I presume that there were funerary rituals.
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
So in what way is his physical body then transcendental?
Yeah. No, it was transcendental, but to make atheistic people or who don't believe in Krishna, to make them more bewildered, he left his illusory body, false body, just to make them ki, okay, you want to criticize me, allow you to more criticize me. Okay, there you go. It says in English, sometimes you have to be a fool to make a fool that is a fool. So, yeah, so I mean, you can't argue with them. Sometimes you just leave them the way they are. When the right time will come, when someone's blessings will be there, or they will be matured, some understanding, then even the Lord says at the end of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna, do not tell this important knowledge to unfaithful person. Because he will take everything very cheaply. Like a jeweler never shows a Kohinoor diamond, which is the most costly diamond, to all the customers. He shows them like a imitated jewelry, or maximum he can show silver, gold, or maybe white diamond. But when it's talk about the Kohinoor, which is very expensive, only he shows when a person knows the value and he inquires, sir, do you have Kohinoor? If you go to jewelry shop, at the window, you will see all imitated jewelry. No one keeps the original. The person comes in and he inquires, and when he says Kohinoor, oh, so there is another room. And there's a very confidential room with 4, 5, 6 cameras and 2, 3 security guards are at the front. They take him inside, they lock him, so he only the salesman, because they know the value. Because you need to pay the price for it. Sorry.
How can one get to, can somebody ever really get to know Krishna, or is that something that is just not gonna be possible for anyone?
See, Krishna as a father, he gives opportunity to all his children to come back to him. He made things access and easily available for everybody. Now it's a call of a conditioned soul. whether you want to take it or not take it. Krishna, after speaking Bhagavad Gita, he left things upon Arjuna. Arjuna, now I told you, now karyeshe yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. Now you do as you desire, I gave you the knowledge. He didn't put pressure on them. Krishna understood, nashta moha smriti labdha. Okay? Tava prasadan maya keshava. Means by your blessing, all my ignorance, all my illusion is disappeared. And karyeshe vachanam tava. Now whatever you say, I will do it. Okay? And he said the same thing to other people also. But other didn't people accept it. So how many of us here, for so many years we are doing this program, okay, we give this knowledge, we tell people please chant, read, come associate, okay, and do some service here. But how many people come and how many people go? Unlimited. So the call is from our side. Make sense or not? Availability is there and the call is from our side. It's called sweet will, individual sweet will, whether we want to take it or not take it. That is the right Lord has given to all of us. He doesn't force, because love is not been forced. I can't, put a gun on your head and say, okay, love me, love me, love me. This is not a love. Until you voluntarily come and you feel to do that. So we tell everybody, now it's a call for them. If they don't do it, come back again. Whenever you will get the human form, come back again. But those who know it, now by this body, this lifetime, go back to Lord and stay with Him for forever. So call is over. If you don't do that, punishment is there. Just an example, the rules and regulations are there on the street. Red light at intersection, stop. Green, go. Okay, 40 km mile, but whatever you say, 40 miles, 60 miles, this is your line, this is a line for the cycle, this is a line for the trucks, for the government. So all the rules and regulations are there. Those who follows, they are happy. Those who don't follow, they get the fine. Government is neutral to everybody. Yeah. The rules are there for everybody. Just those who follow, they are happy. Those who don't follow, then they have to bear the laws of the nature. Anything else? No? I think we should chant.
Sasha, do you have something you maybe something you think your mom needs? How about when we see you're talking, Prabhu, about honor and dishonor. So we even heard about Krishna leaving his body. So we see, what about when we see large numbers of persons in certain parts of the world suffer, at certain times they may suffer great calamities, and it may seem, apparently it seems that it's due to the malicious, in some cases it seems that it's due to the malicious nature of other people that others are suffering. So how can we look at that and remember God? Because my friend Dr. Sasha, he grew up in Ukraine with one parent from Russia, one from Ukraine, but his mom is from Ukraine too, and she's really nice and successful person, but she's from this place where these things happen.
Yeah.
So how to remember God?
Yeah.
In this situation?
Yeah, we are only seeing this life, what is happening. But if you are a follower of Bhagavad Gita or a Vedic scripture, you can say we have billions of lifetime, we have lived. and we have billions of lifetime, we have billions of karma. Okay, so those karma either come individually, person suffer, or collectively in a group. Either could be as a house, as a street, as a state, or as a country. But there's so many people are also who are being harassed because we see the media. But there are so many people who are living in Ukraine and nothing has happened to them, even though in such a big thing happening. I know it's very hard to tell at this moment because they are going through with this, and their attachment is with their work, society, other people. They cannot see it, but we need to see from the broader. All we can do while sitting here, we can send our prayers. So by that prayer, so whichever condition they are, they can get into the better body. But how many people, those who know all this formula? I mean, is there any formula anywhere in the scriptures that by sitting in America, you can send the prayer somewhere there? It's only spiritual life can do it. And during the calamity, what to speak about there, even in our body it happens. Like if I have a cough, cold and a back pain, all my consciousness go to my back. Oh, I have a back pain, I can't think about the God.
Sachi, you should translate it.
And practically, because everything we cannot just tell them because they are going through. We give them some material condolences also. When we just speak to them, if is there any help, giving some donation, some clothes, some food and everything, we do help them. Because at this point, they're so in tension that they are not able to understand the spiritual matter. But if you see, in Ukraine, there's so many Vaishnavas are also there. Our ISKCON team is there. They haven't stopped their Food for Life project. They haven't stopped any help. So whatever they're going through, they're helping them as much as they can to the society. Ultimately, everybody is going through their own karma. That's my answer.
Like killing cows does not help. Killing cows
Killing cows?
does not help the karma.
No, you generate more. It is a very sinful activity. And not only that country, anybody, even the house and family, anybody who does that sinful, activity, killing a cows, so that person, it says in scriptures that how many hairs are there on a cows, that many times he resides in hellish planet. I mean, can you count the hairs of your body? But how can you count the hairs of a cow? It's unlimited. I mean, that many lifetimes he has to suffer in hellish planet. That is a severe effect. But when you serve the cow, then your whole generation will be living in the heavenly planet, or by the blessings of the cow, you may also go back to God, back to Godhead, because Krishna loves cows. When we pray, Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Hitaya Cha. The first come cow, second come Brahmana. First come cow, second come Brahmana. Why? Because if cows are not there, Brahmanas cannot perform their ritualistic activity. Because they need milk, they need ghee, they need other things which only cow gives.
Cow dung.
The cow dungs are there, urines are there. With the cow milk, you can make so many items. We need ghee to pour in the sacrifices. Only cow gives. If the cows are not there, what is the value of a Brahmana? So that's how cows are. And the person or the state who takes care of the cow, the whole state gets flourish. That's why we can see the people are going through with this, earthquake, tsunami and many things, because they are not only just killing cow, there are other, goats are there, pigs are there, many other, everything they are, going to kill. And even the humans also. There are so many people, they are cannibals. They just eat human. What to speak about cows and other animals. So we need to be very mindful of doing any sinful activity. Yes.
And Sasha, keep translating, please. Thank you. So for your service. It's a very thank you for your very nice response. So devotees of Krishna have a unique position that ideally would be the position of everyone, which is to see all living entities equally. The hardest time to do that is when one's own self or the people one's with are being persecuted. But a devotee who's elevated can do that, and this is, you're speaking of this.
Yeah.
A devotee has an even mind in the face of honor and dishonor.
Yeah.
I was thinking of an example of someone close to me. My wife Subangada grew up in Croatia, where there. Yeah, well, no, I don't have the mic. In Croatia, where there's a war in the early to mid '90s, yeah, but because of hard to exactly understand how that works, but because of the religion or maybe the parents where they're from was identified as a Serb. Eventually, her whole family had to leave for Serbia. That was like the safer thing to do. But she grew up. She right before that happened, she became a devotee of Krishna and developed love and wonderful relationships with all these devotees of Krishna.
Wow.
Most of whom were Croatian and stayed in Croatia. And incidentally, so many of her friends before she became a devotee were not, Serb, because there was many Serbs in Croatia and many Croats in Serbia. So, but most of them, they migrated to where
They
mostly
crossed
migrated to
borders,
Serbia during and after the war, and most Croats in Serbia migrated to Croatia if they could, but a little less maybe. Yeah, a little less. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm not a historian, but okay, delete that last one. So that's very interesting. And then when she moved into the temple after starting a temple, creating a temple in Novi Sad, the second largest city in Serbia, after she did that, then finally, after some months, 6 months or a year, then she and her friends moved into the temple in Belgrade, and they started doing their traveling book distribution service there. And another example of this, she just showed me some photos a few days ago that were of what was going on roughly 30 years ago with their distributing books in Kosovo. Not sure if everyone knows Kosovo, but probably you've at least heard of it. But Kosovo and Serbia didn't have the best relations. So she'd be distributing books to people there during the daytime, and then at night, while they were, found a place to stay at night, there you would hear the bombs going off all over the city, but they're distributing books. So the devotee doesn't see that the people who are against their nation or their people or against them personally learns how not to see that way. And this is an important lesson for us to try to learn. It can be very challenging. Sometimes there's people who it would seem for no good reason putting aside wars. There can just be like personal relationships where someone who may not be your, maybe someone is like your enemy, and you don't know why. You can't come up with any good rationale for it, but they are. And you can, me personally as a devotee, I've experienced that to a degree that I never could fathom growing up to happen as well, actually. But it can be an incredible lesson to help one surrender to Krishna, because one realizes on the one hand how under the modes of material nature, when one's not surrendered to Krishna, how people's minds can be so fickle that they can do things that are so negative that there's no good reason for it. And it can impel one to really want to pray to Krishna, on the one hand, to achieve peace of mind for oneself, to not be like that, and to develop compassion for them so that one can live peacefully and happy. So everything in this world, even the really horrendous, horrible things, as a devotee of Krishna, we can learn how to see that as God's grace to help us to develop compassion and submission and a mood of submission to the Lord.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. It's a nice, comments on that. But that requires good amount of practice, to see, because people, when they are in distress, especially, Lord says there are 4 type of people come to me. The first one, he said, distress. When a people approaches in a distress condition of life to Lord, they want immediate result. And when it doesn't happen, then they just go away. But this distress is related to the body.
Yeah.
Spiritual life works on as a spirit soul. It works on a spiritual level, but you are asking a material benefit. Okay, Krishna may or may not do. So that requires a good amount of knowledge, good amount of time spending, understanding every single corner of life. People always think the material part. If I am doing, at least my bank balance should go up. If I am going, my relationship would show well. No matter how well you are in this world, ultimately you have to leave everything in this world. Okay? No matter how wealthy you are, you will only eat that much space in your stomach. You cannot just, I'm, so many wealth, so I can, eat tons of food in one time. You cannot. So that requires a good association of the people who can make you understand all these things. Because people take it very cheaply, What's in for me? Everything comes as what's in for me. If I will do what I will get. Let practice and see what you will get. You will get the eternal life. Go back to God. Okay, thank you. I think anybody can start doing kirtan if they want. Who have a very bad throat.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
I can
Thank you, Prabhu. I appreciate the way you teach.
Oh,
your
very good.
style, the way you bring examples are very amazing. Thank you so much.
All glories to
Alright.
Prabhupada.
Haribol.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay, so we do a short kirtan now.